Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you are watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, are my co-hosts from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious D, Double OT, Terrific Trav, the dynamic duo. How you guys doing today?
Ooh, we here. The shirts
Ready
is
to
in.
rock.
Hey, I am ready to rock too, man. Guys, we have a phenomenal guest joining us today. As your boy always does, he slides in the DMs and they either say yes, no, or they ignore me. But she said, yes, I want to come on, and that is voice actress Heather Gonzalez. Heather, how are you doing today?
Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for having me.
And you are welcome. Hey, yes, we are clapping. We are clapping. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, man. It is an honor. It is always an honor when we have you guys join us up here because we love voice actors. Because you guys, it's like y'all make our childhood and y'all make our adulthood by all of the things that you guys are voicing us. So thank you very much.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Hell yeah.
Hey, that's what the number one hero does up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. So
I also see D throwing that salt out just now.
Oh no, it's just
Hey,
Bagheera.
He's
I know,
trying
I
to
see.
protect
The resident
himself
cat.
just in case Yellow Eyes comes up in there,
That's
man.
right.
Hey, you know that supernatural prequel is about to come out, and D needs
I got
he
Biggs
needs all
the
the help
cat
he
with
can
me.
get.
I'm ready for
Uh-huh.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
But before we get into today's interview, two things. One is the usual thing, and then the other one is on a more serious note. First, make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And then the other thing is that we want to give our condolences because a voice actor just passed away, Billy Kometz. He voiced so many amazing characters in the anime world, and he passed away, and it was very sad. He voiced one of my favorite characters. I'm a huge JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan, as everybody knows. He voiced Josuke in part 4 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable. And, when he passed away, the whole community just showed nothing but love and support. And, for somebody that a lot of people didn't know personally, he touched a lot of people just by being who he was. So we want to give our condolences here from Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks to, his friends and his family. And we're going to miss you. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. my friend.
Right. So with that being said, D, take it away with your line.
As always, like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching.
And Trav, your tip of the day.
Man,
Cherish every day.
Yeah, cherish every day and tell your loved ones you love them.
Yes.
Family, friends.
Like that. I think that's appropriate.
It's appropriate.
Of that. So let's go ahead and get into today's interview. So Heather, the first question that I always ask up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are.
Ooh, I like villain. I'm gonna be a villain.
It's not too often that we get villains up here. Sometimes
Welcome
we get
to
a
the
lot of
Phantom
heroes,
Troop.
we get a lot of anti-heroes, but we don't get a lot of villains. So go ahead.
Yes, the villains have more fun.
Yes.
I started acting when I was 4 in New York. My dad always told me this story. I don't remember it because I was 4. But my sister was acting. She was in Peter Pan. She was Michael. And it was this big production. And I was in the audience watching her. And the first time she flew, I got up on my seat and I was like, I want to do that. And my dad was like, you want to fly? And I was like, no, I want to do that. And the very next audition, they put me in. I got in the show. And I never stopped acting from that point on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those like you just kind of always have that bug and you got bit and that's it. There's nothing else you can do from that moment
I got a bug
on.
bite right now that won't stop itching.
This guy. It's a bug outside my door, and it's not a water bug. I don't know what it is. It looks like it's a cross between an ant and a wasp, and it has like giant
Is it a potato bug?
I don't know. I was gonna post it on Facebook.
I know he's terrified, Trav.
I am. Well, no, the bug is terrified of me. It's still there. Like when I came in the house from the gym, like it started crawling back up the wall. But it's like I don't.
And you didn't take it
out.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the ant from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's what it reminds me.
Terrifying.
Well, that was a cool ant, though.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Great movie, though.
Yes.
Like,
It doesn't need to be rebooted. Please do not.
No,
when they were running when they were running and the water drops were hitting. Favorite part of the
yeah.
Oh, good.
I know. But Heather, I love that origin story, and I love how when you told your dad, I want to do that, and of course he's just like, oh, she's a kid, so yeah, you want
She wants to fly, obviously.
No.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
No, it's like I want to do that. And so, like, how was it when you got into your first theater play?
Honestly, I don't remember because I was 4. But I know
the next one that you did that you do remember.
The first one that I can remember.
Yeah,
oh my god! I mean,
was it when you were 5?
Probably. I don't know. I have the earliest memory
try.
of being in a show. I was in Annie with my sister, which is one of those shows that you either really love or you really hate. There's no in between on that one. But because I've done it so many times and it's the first one I remember being in, it's my guilty pleasure show. But I was in it with my sister and it was fantastic. And I just remember being backstage and just being like, oh, those people applauding. This is it. This is what I'm living for. Like at 5, you know what you're living for.
Yeah,
apparently that was it.
This is it. Something I want to do, and I always love it when our guests talk about their family. Hey, go ahead and give your sister a shout out. What's her name?
My sister's name is Angie Brooke, and she is fantastic. She's actually moved on from acting. She has a tea business. I'm gonna give that a quick shout out because you gave me a platform to do it. Brooke Birch Tea. You can find her on Instagram and Twitter. Delicious custom blended teas. If you like tea, Brooke Birch Tea. Oh, seriously? I'll send you samples.
For real?
Hit me up in my DMs, you 3. I will send you tea samples.
For sure.
Fantastic.
Hey, we love tea around here, and I'll make sure that I include the link to all of her social media stuff when this video
thank
gets
you.
posted.
I will send it to you. That is
That's
fantastic.
what we do here.
Yeah, that's what we do here because when you hear on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, it's like all of
cheers to it.
family. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
And when we say it, we mean it. It's not like when Vin Diesel says it and it's just like family because that's just a movie.
Leave the chair. Leave the chair open for me. Leave the chair.
But yeah, I had another question that I wanted to ask, but I'll go ahead and pass the ball to one of you guys. Who wants to go first, Trav or D?
I got a question. I want to know, and this is so random. I was just thinking of it when you started talking about Peter Pan. What are your feelings on Peter Pan now? Because I know, Peter Pan and Annie and stuff like that. It's one of those ones where maybe as a kid you enjoyed it, and then a lot of people when they grow up, they're like, I'm not a fan of that. Like, I've been rewatching old Disney movies with my kids, and I saw Sword in the Stone, and as a kid, I loved it. When I watched it now, I was like, this is horrendous. Like, this is so boring.
I mean, it's so old, though, Trav.
Yeah, you can't watch it. You have to, watch it with, your past eyes on. You can't watch it with today's eyes and be like, Peter Pan, I still love. I have a tattoo of Peter Pan. It is still my jam. I love Peter Pan.
Peter Pan's
I never want to grow up. I just want to be a little boy and always have fun.
Hey, well, you know what? Yeah. You know what? Since we're here, and I always love asking this question, I don't care what these guys say.
I'm sorry,
give me your top 5 Disney movies of all time.
Last guest we had, he asked
it can be animated, 3D animated. Give it to me. What's your top 5?
Oh God,
we're trying to whittle them down. See?
You're really asking stumping questions there, though. Okay, in no particular order, because I don't think I could.
And be careful what you say because your fans will come after you too.
I know,
He likes to lure people in with the breadsticks, and then he starts asking these questions.
Wait, I was not promised breadsticks, but I would like some breadsticks.
He didn't
put that out there.
Yeah, we got. Hey, I'm sending a care package to California because it's a lot of voice.
I'll get breadsticks. You get tea. It's fantastic.
Breadstick for tea.
Okay. Let's see. Obviously, Peter Pan.
Okay.
I know there are lots of things wrong with it by today's standards, but
for sure.
I will still always love Peter Pan. I just can't not. Peter Pan, Oliver and Company.
Great movie. Okay. I like that one.
The Fox and the Hound.
Okay. Good one.
Robin Hood.
Okay, you're naming some.
Oh yeah, those are classics. Yes, they don't even. Some of these people that listen to this episode ain't gonna know what those are.
I know.
Oh
no. I need one more, right?
You got one more.
One more.
I can't wait.
We'll put a princess in there. Let's go Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, good
Can't
pick.
go wrong.
Good
You
pick.
you need a princess in there.
Yeah, good pick.
Now,
Hey,
hey,
that-
did you like that live action Beauty and the Beast?
Nah, it's all about that line my boy
You
Gaston
didn't?
said.
I
man.
don't
It was
think we
okay.
should be making live action of Disney cartoons. I think Disney should always invent new things and not try and reinvent the wheel. I think that was Walt Disney's purpose, and I think they sort of fell off that.
Wow.
Sorry, Disney.
That's a good take, though. No, that's a good take.
Yeah.
I owe part of my love for manga to Beauty and the Beast, because when my man Gaston asked her, "How do you read this? Where are the pictures?" I was like,
You know what he's reading. You know.
Where are the pictures?
Oh man, no, that's awesome. Listen, to kind of piggyback off of us talking about Peter Pan. Did you watch the Chippendale movie?
I did.
Okay, and how did you feel, or if you even heard about it after the movie came out? Like people
About
were
the
revealing
real life kid who
the
played
real
Peter
life
Pan.
kid. Yeah, I never knew that until the movie.
Yeah.
I need that backstory. What's that about?
So pretty much, they said that the kid who played Peter Pan,
Like voiced them.
he voiced him.
Yeah.
Okay.
in
He
the
pretty much
original
aged
movie.
out of Disney, and they
Yeah.
sort of just let him go. So sort of what they were portraying, that satire, was of what
Real.
really happened to that kid. Like he never
Oh,
really
wow.
worked again.
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody age out of Disney, though?
Well, it was
Yeah.
like he aged out of Disney, then he got on drugs and stuff, and it's like they just didn't have anything for him anymore. And I guess like his family tried to blame Disney for
His
what he
downfall.
became. But
Yeah.
I mean, like that's something that you see happens to a lot of childhood actors, unfortunately.
Right.
And it's always sad because it's just like they grow up being in the spotlight, and then once they get older and they're not in the spotlight anymore, they kind of just do stuff to still try and stay in the spotlight. And like I
Yep.
feel like that's the reason why you hear a lot of things where a lot of childhood actors
Yeah, a
always
lot of
getting in
childhood
trouble and
actors.
stuff.
Yeah, a lot of them.
It's also
Not
about
all of them.
the company you keep around you, too.
No,
That's
I said a
the
lot
family-
of them.
The family
Yeah.
situation. You hear about the girl from iCarly, where pretty much she's only on iCarly because her mom put her to
Her
work.
mom was pushing her.
You know, and yeah.
Well, and it's hard
Yeah.
too when you're acting, like when you're working that young. Like
Right.
you are
Yeah.
basically an adult working
Sure.
in this child's body, so you're being treated like an adult. You're getting to do things with the adults, and then
Yeah. You're
you
making
get sucked
adult
into
money
this
too.
world. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get
And
sucked
you
into
can't
this
touch
world
it.
that you're nowhere near ready for.
That's a good point.
What happened to Gary Coleman? His parents, they tried to take his money, and
Yeah.
he ended up broke.
My
like,
man Goldberg from Mighty Ducks.
oh,
That was
yeah.
such a
Yeah.
sad story, though.
So sad. Yeah, I know.
But he came back though. He got his life together and he's doing good
That's true.
now. And I feel like redemption stories are always the best because everybody can redeem themselves. Just
Nope,
because you
everyone
fall,
wants that epic comeback.
yeah. And just like Apollo Creed told Rocky, it's just like after you make this comeback, everybody's gonna owe you an apology. It's the truth though, because everybody was crapping on Rocky and stuff like that. And then as soon as he beat Clubber Lang, everybody they wanted him again. It's just like that's how the world is, But to get back to you,
Snowball.
Heather, 'cause, yeah, we snowball. Up
We
here
went
a
this
lot.
way.
we
It's
did.
bad.
That's okay.
So
This
now
is-
I want to get into what made you want to get into voice acting, and when you did get into it, what was your first voice acting role?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I gotta be honest, I did not want to voice act.
Ooh.
All of my theater friends transitioned over to voiceover and anime, and all after a while they were all like, you should do this, like you would really, really enjoy this. And I'm like, me alone in a room talking to myself? No, thank you. Like I need the applause, instant
Right,
gratification of an audience.
Michael.
Right.
I need to know that they like me. Like I judge myself too hard to stand in a room by myself and act. Like that's weird. I'll be
Yeah.
like, no, stop what you're doing. That was dumb. So I was like, no, thank you. I'm good. Give me the stage. And then a friend of mine who I was on tour with is a voice actor, and he every once in a while will do a class. And so he was like, I'm doing a class. And I was like, I'm going. And then 2 weeks to the class, I was like, I'm not going. No, I'm not going. And he was like, Heather, just come to the class. See if you like it. Maybe you'll hate it. Maybe you'll like it. We'll talk after. And I was like, well, shit, the universe just opened a window. What are you going to do? I was like, okay, I'm going to go. I'll check it out. And, it's one of those things where deep down, I knew that it was the thing that scared me the most because I didn't want to be alone in a room acting. That was terrifying. And I was like, well, if it scares you, then you need to do it. Obviously that's where you need to go because you're terrified of it. Unlike spiders, you should just stay away from them if you're terrified of them.
Absolutely.
Or water bugs.
But this, go and do. So I did, and the class was amazing, and I was like, oh, this is what everyone's doing? Like, you've all moved to doing this? I want to do this. This is so cool. And then I felt like I was cheating on theater because I loved voiceover more, and I had to like mentally deal with that for a minute. And then my first role after that was actually a commercial for not 1-800-Flowers, but that sort of a thing in the Caribbean.
In the Caribbean.
That was the first voice
Exotic,
acting.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
In the Caribbean.
So then what was it when you actually got like, a voice acting role that wasn't for commercials?
Oh, like actually getting like to play?
Yeah, to play somebody. Yeah.
What was the first thing I did? I can't remember what the first thing I did was. Yes, I can.
Hey,
sorry, that's
hey, you done so much stuff. It's
I
just
totally
like,
can.
I understand.
It flashed back to me. It was right before the pandemic. And I went into the first big thing, and it was a video game, and it was Trails of Cold Steel 4.
Okay.
Nice.
And I was terrified of that because A, it was my first video game ever. B, it was Trails of Cold Steel 4, and I was replacing someone.
Ooh.
And I was like, this is not, okay, let's do it. And then it was fantastic. It was such a fun experience. And then for the next year, I sat on that terrified of what the audience would think. Because replacing anyone's favorite anything is just, it's really scary.
Yeah.
And the fans were so nice, and they were so loving and accepted me in the part, and it just became a really great experience. But yeah, I remember just being really scared.
Yeah, that's always something that you have to worry about, especially when you're taking over. I mean, because you see what happens in live action. I really haven't seen a lot of backlash in the voice acting community when somebody takes over a role. I mean, I did see something recently when the whole thing with Futurama with John DiMaggio was going on, and they tried to replace Bender, and everybody was you can't replace Bender. Like, I can understand if somebody passes away and they need somebody.
They have to.
Right?
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
But if the person's still here, and like if they're demanding more money because it's like pretty much like they're one of the stars of the show, I mean, you got to give the person what they want,
Well, and it's always hard too, because you don't always know how much you can say, and sometimes you don't know why you've replaced that person. You just know the other person said, yes, I'm okay with this, and that's all the information you have. So if people get upset, you don't even have anything to go to bat with. You can just be like, okay, well, thank you for your opinion. I did it anyway.
Especially if it's a character that's not necessarily well liked per se, but well known, it could be tough because people have that, that mental picture of it.
Yeah, or if it's
so
for
they're
me,
going to be judgy.
It was a voice actor who was very well known, because before me in the first 3 games, it was Marisha Ray. And I was like, wait, I'm sorry. How am I doing what? Marisha Ray, what? How do I come in after her and be like, here we go?
Wow.
Yeah, because those are big shoes to fill.
I was going to say, that's like Sidney Prescott not returning for the new Scream movie.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to compare that to, when Rocky took over for Jason as the Red Ranger. I mean,
it always comes back to Rocky.
Some people were feeling Rocky, and some people weren't. I was one of those people that wasn't feeling them.
Some people miss. Some people slide. Rocky slid right out of that ring.
Yeah, he slid right out of that ring, and a little kid replaced him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, come on, man. Like, how does a kid replace you? But anyway, we're not.
Question is, why didn't he morph on his way out of the ring? Wouldn't that have saved him? All right, sorry. Back question. Sorry.
I got. So, are we done with theater?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Are you done with touring theater?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I toured theater for as an equity stage manager for about 10 years.
Oh wow!
And then I toured as a costume supervisor with the Moscow Ballet for 2 years.
Dope.
Which is fantastic.
Tough.
Question.
But yes.
Did you ever take any props? A sword, a wand.
I may or may not have.
Okay, I like that answer.
5 or 6 epee swords in my kitchen right now.
Say it like they say in court. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Exactly.
I like it.
What Ryan Reynolds, he said, I took the Deadpool outfit and they still want it back. You know, like, nah. Well, what was I can't remember what's the guy that was in the Warriors?
I don't know.
Gamby.
Warriors?
Gamby. Yeah,
I don't know the
Warrior. I can't remember the actor's name, but he took the vest.
The vest, of course.
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hey. Right about now, when it gets up to 90 in the middle of the night, you gotta go walk down the street. That bad boy.
Yeah. Hey, I'm bad.
Please do and film it and send it. I need to see this.
Throw a snap in there.
I know my next TikTok video.
That's a tough way to live, though, for real. Just touring all the time, being on the road.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, the first tour I did with the Shakespeare Company, luckily it was it stayed in California more, and then we would go out to some places, but we were on planes and hotels. When I toured with the ballet, it was bus and truck. That is rough. When you wake up in a new place every morning and you have no idea where you are because you've been driving all night, it's always like, what day is it? Where are we? What's happening today? Okay, let's go.
And that's those old stories you used to hear about them wrestlers, man. They would travel somewhere and then
musicians got to do it all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. For sure, it's a lot of fun, but you can't do that in voiceover. Like, I had to stop for 13 weeks a year to be able to go back on tour, and now I'm like, no, I'd rather do this.
I feel that, because before the pandemic and whatnot, because I'm a professional wrestler, and because of wrestling, I was able to get into doing stand-up comedy. And I was just like, man, do I want to wrestle or do I want to do stand-up comedy? Because it's just like, you have to do so much when it comes to doing stand-up comedy. Like, you traveling to all these places and whatnot. And a lot of times you're not getting paid at all. Whereas at least for wrestling, like if I'm driving 4 or 5 hours somewhere, at least I can put gas in my car. I don't even want to talk about gas, but
we ain't talking about that.
No, thank you.
Just like we
That's
don't talk
cool
about
that you're
Bruno.
a wrestler, though.
Don't talk about
Thank you.
I was super into wrestling, like junior high and high school. I was all about it. Like the era of
Attitude Era.
Yes, the Attitude Era. Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. I love The Undertaker. Not gonna lie about it.
Undertaker was still wrestling until like 2 years ago. So
I know, right? The oldest person on the roster. Triple H would have still been up there too, but unfortunately he had the heart problem. So
yeah, I tried watching again recently, and I was just like, oh, it's not the same.
It's something about it. It's
and I'm sure like it's for the people who watch it now.
Oh, of course.
Like you can't it's the same thing with watching old Disney movies. You can't watch it with the eyes that you had then.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't work.
Well, I will recommend if you would like to check out some wrestling, I highly recommend like checking out indie wrestling, like going to an indie show. Because you live in California, there's a lot of indie wrestling promotions out there in that area, some really good ones. And then there's this company called AEW that comes on every Wednesday. Oh yeah, so you already know, but I highly recommend that too. Because you get that old feel of like when you were younger when you watch that compared to you watch WWE and it's just like
WWE watered down their pop music of wrestling right now.
Exactly.
Damn, Trav.
But Trav,
I mean, nobody wants to see somebody fighting and they're playing a pop song, bro. Like, just don't go together.
It doesn't, man. No, I feel you on it. But Trav, did you have any more theater questions?
I have one.
Okay, go ahead, D.
I just gotta ask. I don't think we covered it, but do you have a favorite? Like play or?
Oh goodness.
Give us your top 5.
No, God, take it easy.
Actually, okay, so I'm gonna actually go with okay, can I give you my top 2?
Yeah, Trav, I'm gonna need you. Stay ready, Trav. Yes.
So Jesus Christ Superstar, Sondheim is my number 1, and that's because that was my dad's favorite. And when he was a kid, he used to play the record and do a puppet show of it. And that was his, and so I grew up listening to him sing it. So that is my absolute favorite. And then second to that is Rent, because
I knew you were going to say Rent. And I knew it. I had a feeling.
Held in high regard. So
yeah, but in all fairness, Rent is an adaptation of my favorite opera of all time, La Boheme. So what's it called? Hey, I'm kind of there with the Rent too.
Very good opera.
Connection.
Mm-hmm. Now, because Rent is your favorite, did you get a chance to watch the movie Tick Tick Boom?
Oh, it was so good. I
It was
cried so
sad.
much.
Mhm.
I
It was
cried
sad,
so
man.
much.
It's
Andrew
very
Garfield
relatable.
does it again.
Yeah,
So good.
I feel like any field that you're in, voice acting, wrestling, music, it's just like it's very relatable because it's like you go through those struggles until you make it on your own. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, you know, he passed away before.
And with that Fort Town.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
it was so sad. It's a good movie. Like sad movies like that, I can only watch them once because
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be able to watch it again because I cried through like 90% of it, but it was
Mm.
so good.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing too. Like with sad shows, like BoJack Horseman, for example. Like I can only watch that once. I can't watch it again because it's so sad because of all of the stuff that happens up there. But you know, now I wanted to, you know, go back to voice acting because like you've done so much stuff. And I just want to say, you know, you're awesome for the roles that you've been in. And one of them that I wanted to bring up was a movie that me and Trav, we really loved. We loved all the music in it, and it was Belle. Now, I know that, you know, you did some additional voiceover work in that, but, you know, just being a part of that movie and the music that was in that, and, you know, you being somebody that grew up in theater and then being on stage in theater, like, how was it being a part of something like that?
Belle was fantastic, and Belle's kind of a special one because I also I work for NYV Post, so I got to work on the backstage side of Belle. Backstage, we'll call it that. Production side of Belle as well. So not just getting to be a part of the cast and just even being, you know, some little bits here and there, but getting to know the process, getting to hear things as they were happening, hear songs as they were coming, like. It's such a phenomenal piece, and it's such a good movie in the original. It's a phenomenal movie in the English dub. Like everyone did such a good job and paid such care when it was happening. There was so much care around it to make sure that it was as good as it could be, because everyone really, really loved it from the second production started on it to
Oh, I'm sure.
now.
Yeah. So
What did you think of Kylie's voice when you first heard it?
Oh my God, she's incredible.
Oh my God.
Hey,
Just like-
I've been
now she's
sliding
like
in her
touring-
DMs for a long time.
Yeah, hey, now she's doing like shows and she's doing like the songs acoustically and, you know, and
Ooh,
stuff
nice.
like that. And
I saw something
Man.
on YouTube about that.
yeah, they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, she's
they're
just,
gorgeous.
like-
But her voice, that's one where, no disrespect to the original Japanese version, but that dub, yeah, her
there's
voice.
an emotionality that comes across
There's-
in her voice that just like you can be an okay singer and an amazing emoter and it touches people, and she's an amazing singer, an amazing
know.
emoter, and it just like what comes out and what comes across is just phenomenal.
I got the goosebumps thinking about it because we
Uh-huh.
talk about Genshin Impact where a lot of the people they pick, they were like born to play those characters.
Yes, they
Yeah.
fit right in.
Kylie is Belle.
Oh
Like to a T. Like as soon as I saw the trailer and she spoke, I imagined that's what that girl's voice would sound like. It's just so spot on.
yeah, it's
Perfect
one of those
casting.
moments where you're just like the casting is so perfect that you're like
Yeah.
this was meant to be this way.
And fellas,
like
you
this
know I'm gonna
podcast.
say it because I say it every time.
What,
But
you
that is
cried?
why NYAV Post is the greatest
Mhm.
dubbing studio that we have here in the States right now. They
Yeah, and I
never
was gonna-
let us down.
And to piggyback off of that too,
Sure.
you know, one of our former guests, Anjali, they
Anjali.
worked on Belle too. And then you can also check out their episode. It is up here on YouTube, or if you want to listen to it on the podcast, to it. You know, hey, you always gotta do the plugs, man. So that way
That's right,
people
hey.
go and check
Oh,
out.
I got
Arnold
the
was
plugs.
in
I
here.
got the plugs.
Yeah, you do.
You always have to. But
So
so
you
now,
cool?
because you know we're talking about production and whatnot, I had saw that you did production on Fina Private Princess, and we've interviewed like I want to say almost half the cast.
Half that cast for
yeah,
sure.
half that
Yeah.
cast we've interviewed from that show, and you know, like that was a very special show. I really enjoyed it. I remember the first time I had saw the trailer for it, and I was just like, yo, I really want to check this show out. And it was after we interviewed Nick Corda, who you can check out his interview. It is up here on YouTube, or you can listen to it on the podcast. I was
That's
just
right.
like, hey, I'm going to check it out. And then like when I watched it, I was just like, man, this show is amazing. Like the animation, the voice acting, like everybody did such a good job up there. So like, let's talk about that. Like, how was it, working behind the scenes on this show and, bringing it all together?
It's so funny when looking back on it, you can be like, oh, it's amazing, it's so good, it's this. When you're doing it, it can be very stressful.
Right, I'm sure.
Especially when you're working with another country, so you're getting materials as they come to you, and then you're trying to get them out in a timely manner so that, you reach all of your deadlines with your stuff. So it can be very stressful, but the team is such a strong bond for all the different shows that we do, and there's always someone to help out when things get crazy, which they can when you're doing any sort of production work, any sort of any production or live events or anything like that. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong, and however you can fix it, fantastic. So things like that will always happen, but there's such good experiences, and you learn so much by doing them and by watching the finished product afterwards. And like being a part of the production side, you get to sort of hear the auditions, and then you get to see who gets picked, and you get to watch the finished product. And so as an actor, you really get like that full, like, oh, okay, I hear what you did there. And then I see how the director like took that even more and created this whole other thing with you. And so it's always really, really cool to watch. And I'm always learning so much, getting to be on this side of it.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Hell yeah.
I think it's awesome, what you were just saying about like, being behind the curtain and how everything goes on and the process of everything. I mean, it's still cool, voice acting and whatnot, but I feel like that's another added layer to the product, because it's just like you're seeing everything. You're seeing, like you said, people auditioning for the roles and stuff, and how everything is coming together. I think that's really awesome.
I kind of relate that too. Early on, I cooked for a long time before moving into the career I have now, and I can relate that when you cook for a long time and then you have to go help on the front end of the house. You know how long things take, and you just know the ins and outs of it. So that's pretty neat that you got to see both sides of it. So,
it's always
Does
been
help.
great, and it's something I did in theater too, because I was an equity stage manager. Because acting doesn't always pay the bills in theater, or hardly ever pays the bills in theater. So you got to do something else.
Yeah.
So being on both sides has always been something that I'm really passionate about.
Hell yeah.
I was going to ask, how's that kind of work? You being in California and then being based out of New York. Is there a lot of this right here, or?
So NYAV Post is actually bi-coastal. So about half of our people are on the East Coast, and about half of our people on staff are out here.
Oh, okay.
And so we do Skype meetings and that sort of thing, so that we can have face-to-face and always in communication digitally. But yeah, we're bi-coastal.
I was actually hoping she was going to say they have warp gates, right? So every
Yeah.
and then about 10:30, just step in and zoom.
Hit him with that
snap
Doctor
the
Strange.
That would be fantastic.
Yes,
How
sir.
much
Open
traffic
up the
I could
wrong
get away
portal.
from.
Yeah, oh god.
Exactly.
So I guess I can dream on.
Yeah. When you create that, you let me know.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And we know a guy. AD
Yeah,
has
we
a
know
very
a guy.
fast friend.
Oh god. Oh no.
But no, I wanted to ask you now, because you do voice acting in anime and cartoons, but you also do voice acting in video games. Like, which one do you prefer doing more? Because I know when it comes to video games, like there's a lot of screaming, and you have to scream like 200 times, so that way it's a different scream every time. And I think that's unique compared to when we were growing up playing video games. And it was
Street
just
Fighter
like
sounds.
it was just that
It's the
same
same.
scream. It was just the same. Whereas now, because when we interviewed Ken Michael, who was in the Saints Row video games, and it's a tragedy that he's not going to be in the new Saints Row video games. And you can check out his interview on the podcast or up here on YouTube. I got to plug it. But he was telling us he had to voice act being set on fire, and he was just like he had to do it over and over and over and over again. So like, which one do you prefer doing more? Like, which one do you like?
Oh my goodness. You know what? I love the variety. I like that any given day I'm doing a different thing. I love the technical challenge of dubbing because it's like spinning 6 plates in the air when you're trying to lip flap match and act and see a script for the first time and listen to your director. So it's like, how many things can I do at once? So my technical brain loves dubbing. Video games are just so cool. They're just so cool.
Yeah.
Like you can't not love them. When I did Alien Fireteam Elite, I remember that's the most I've ever had to die ever. And it was always like, okay, and now an alien has picked you up and stabbed you through the stomach. Okay, and now an alien has put a face hugger down your throat. And you're like, yeah, I know what that sounds like. I totally know what that sounds like.
Jesus.
It's going to be something like this. And then you just see what comes out of your face.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's funny. Now, I mean, being in the Alien game, were you a fan of Aliens before being in that game?
I'm a fan of the movies. I'm not a super sci-fi person per se, but that is one of the sci-fi movies, and probably because it has a horror element. I'm more of a horror fan. But that is one of the ones that I definitely liked. And so when I auditioned for it, I had no idea what it was. You know, you get a code name, and they don't really tell you much, and you do it, and you're like, okay. And then it wasn't until I was cast and in the booth that they told me what the game was, and I was like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, cool.
I love hearing the stories when people try and figure it out based on what they received.
Oh, I'm so bad at that.
Try and connect the dots.
I am so
you won't be solving any crimes anytime soon.
No, I am not a Google sleuth. I try so hard. Sometimes I can recognize the animation, but I'm also not a huge gamer.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at playing video games. The second you had to control the camera and
we
your
could
person,
tell just from this, you know.
Right? This is how I play video games. This is it.
Hey, you had the Wii remote and the nunchuck.
I can do that, sort of. I'm a good, anything where it's smashing buttons, I'm all about it. But if I have to control a camera, where I'm going to be staring at the sky or the ground, and it's just not going to work out. But I love to watch people play video games. So when YouTube became a thing and Let's Plays became a thing, I was like, yes, I can watch more people play video games. But because of that, I'm really bad at figuring out what things are, because I'm like, I don't know that I've ever seen this game. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's honestly, I really don't play video games anymore, especially because I was such a RPG MMO guy, and I know you were in the PSO2. I don't want to call it a reboot, but like an expansion that they did. But those were really my bread and butter. But like I can't play them anymore because I got adult stuff going on. Like I just can't do it. But luckily, I have like some of my favorite Twitch streamers, and that's really how I see video games now and find out the storylines and stuff by watching Twitch and watching people stream them playing. That's how I find out if I even like a game or not, to be honest.
See, that's fair. There's very few that I'll like I can play New World. I've played New World and I'm not terrible at it. I tried to play, what was it? I think it was Skyrim I tried to play. And I was playing with my husband and I was like, babe, I'm going in this cave and there's a lot of like webs. There isn't like spiders in this game, right? And he was like, no, you're fine. Then, of course, you go around the corner and the giant spider, I literally ran my person into a corner, got up and left the room. And I was like, I'm done.
He set you up.
End game.
That's always the best, though. That's always the best, is when somebody sets you up, though. Like, I love that stuff.
It's the worst. Anytime I play, I try and play anything, my husband's like, you should stream because you're hilarious to watch. I'm like, shut up. I don't want to watch people making fun of me. I bought this little horror game. It's not even scary at all. But it's so tense that I don't even want to move forward. I'm like, something's
people
coming.
Watch that.
I don't want to go.
I love that stuff, though.
Other people get scared too. Some people they just like to go for the ride.
Yeah, I love watching people stream horror games because you're in it too. Especially if it's their first time and it's your first time.
I've thought about doing it, man, because it's fun. Like, I'll always remember when I played the Resident Evil 7 demo, and I was on the phone with my tag team partner, and like the monster just came around the corner, and I just yelling. I screamed, I yelled into the phone, and he was just like, "What's wrong?" And I was just like, yo, like I was just scared.
Yeah.
I was
Yo,
scared
that's it,
shitless,
yo.
man. I said, and I told him, I said, I love telling this story now, but back then I was just like, don't ever tell anybody you heard me scream. Because he was just like, he said, man, you sounded like a woman the way that you
Sound
screamed.
like-
But I was scared. Like, and
He
like
was
that's
scared.
the testament to Resident Evil 7. But then you play Resident Evil 8, and it's just it's nothing scary in it. It's just a straightforward game. I mean, when you have people, you know, fiending over the giant vampire woman, like, who's gonna be afraid of her? You
Lady Dimitrescu?
There it is, there it is.
Yeah, I'm butchering
something
it
like
probably,
that. Yeah. But you know, since we're talking about video games, you know, some of the video games that you've been in have been the Pokemon series. Now, were you a fan of Pokemon before you did voiceover work in them?
So I was not a Pokemon
Ooh,
person.
interesting.
I was not an anime person before I got into
Nani?
anime. I know, right? At
We've
all.
heard that before.
Yeah, we have.
It wasn't my thing. I did not what I grew up with, and my husband was, and so it was always like his thing, and so he sort of got me into watching things. Like he had me watch Fairy Tale for the first time, and I was like, "This is adorable," and I'm in love with this. And so that's sort of like, though it's very funny because that's the only like shonen that I like. Otherwise, I like the darker like things with ghosts and ghouls and Tokyo Ghoul and Death Note, that sort of thing.
Parasite.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Parasite was great.
This guy. Anyway,
JoJo's
this
Bizarre
is in
Adventure?
JoJo
It's
is a little too bizarre for me.
There
I
you go.
tried really hard, but it's just it makes me cringe. Not in the bad cringe way,
It's the
but in the
tongue
way
cherry.
it's supposed
It just
to.
makes you cringe. I get
And
it.
I'm like, oh, I can't get through it.
Hey, at least you tried. That's all.
Like I
That's
can
all that
see
I
the
like.
beauty of it, but I'm like, it's not. I can't. So
We get the appeal. The appeal is just not for me.
exactly.
Well, how do you feel about One Piece?
Never seen it.
Hey,
You might not have seen it.
I mean, this is didn't watch JoJo.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
No, that is not. He's gonna cry when you leave. So
Oh,
that's cool.
don't cry.
JoJo.
Hey, I'm never gonna let you cry. Oh, cry. Don't cry. Hey, don't get me started. I'll sing some Nobody Like
stop,
You. You already know. No, D, I'll do it.
I noticed that you also lent your voice to Monster Hunter.
As
No,
he like
not
goes
that.
back on track.
Don't lend that thing anywhere. So
Monster Hunter, I love Monster Hunter. It's fantastic. I loved getting to play Minoto. It was one of the first times someone let me play a voice that isn't my bassy voice. And I got to be like sweeter. Was like, oh yay, someone will let me be nice.
there you go. Okay.
I
I
was
was just curious. Yeah, what you got, Trav?
No, I was gonna ask because I was hoping that we would bring up the singing thing because you do have a good singing voice. Do you happen to look at the comments at all of anything people are saying about you? I don't know if you know much about your character from Phantasy Star.
Did the song ever come out?
So yeah, the song is out, and so is the whole scene of you breaking out into the song. And like if you go watch the YouTube video, it's like I was so shocked when she started singing. It was beautiful, and there's like so much praise for it. So now I get to present to you the good news. And
Go ahead, Trav.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I haven't I didn't know it ever came out. And so I don't really know what to look up to find it. So I was like, if it comes out, eventually
I'll link you. We'll link you.
Hey, that's why they call him Terrific Trav.
That's
right. He always has terrific news.
That I think might have been my favorite in-studio experience to date because I'm so used to singing on stage and I've been doing it for so long, but I'd never sung in a booth before.
Right.
It was such a cool experience. It was so different. And I'm so used to, on stage from the beginning to end, and that's what you got. You can't, and this being able to take it piece by piece if you wanted to, and play with different, I was like, oh my God, we can stop here and play with this note. And really, I was like, this is
get those
so
vocal comps in.
I'm like, can I sing in everything? I want to sing more.
You should. Well, since we're talking about singing, because I know when we were growing up, we would watch anime and, they would always do an English cover of a song that was an anime, like Yu Yu Hakusho, for example. I know even some of the voice actors that were on Yu Yu Hakusho, they sung the songs for the series. Like, would you ever be interested in doing something like that? Like doing anime covers for intros to
anything. If someone's like, Heather, you want to sing a song? I'm like, yeah. What do you want? What are we singing? I'll sing a song. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, that's always awesome. So now I want to ask you, because I had just asked you about the anime stuff, and without you getting in trouble and all that other stuff, what are some animes that you would love to lend your voice to?
Fairy Tale. I
Are
know
you watching the new 100-Year War or whatever it's called?
100-Year Quest out?
Yeah, it's been out.
The sub?
Oh, well, I don't know about the dub, but yeah. The sub.
So I know the sub is out.
Okay.
I read the manga, and that's rare for me. That's how you know I actually like am in love with that
pictures.
world. Books with pictures, man. Gotta love them.
And pictures.
Except I'm really bad normally with books and pictures because I don't know where to look, and so I just get really distracted.
Right.
I like words with words.
But
I love Fairy Tale, so I read the manga, and I read the 100-Year Quest manga. And hey, if anyone's listening and you're casting the dub, for the love of God, I'll play incidentals. But please let me in the world.
And we know some people.
I just want to be in the world.
I know a guy.
Yeah, that would be the one.
We can send some breadsticks their way. We
I'll
don't know
send
how.
tea.
Hey, look, we'll
Tea
even
and
include some marinara sauce. You know,
Even the legendary marinara.
Maybe we might throw some cheesy bread in there.
Oh,
Something.
easy,
now
guys.
we're
They
getting
don't
serious.
They don't deserve the cheesy bread.
They said they don't deserve the cheesy bread.
Not yet.
But
Not yet.
the cheesy bread might win them over, though. It's like, okay. Like,
The cheesy
yeah.
bread comes once we sign the contract. See,
That's right.
Yeah. Can you imagine like showing up to a voice over deal and then opening up the briefcase and it's cheesy bread? Like, what this do?
Oh, that's what I want this
that's
do.
fantastic.
Is this enough?
You better hope so. That's
want
the trouble if it don't.
Look, Papa John's done made everybody step their game up. They done put the pepperoni in the stuffed crust now.
Well, no, whatchamacallit did that too. Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Little Caesars put the pepperoni in the crust as well, man. The stuffed crust. You know.
I seen today somebody made like a catfish fry, but it was stuffed with potatoes and I was like, bro, this is next level.
Bro,
this is next level. Right.
When you said
There's a lot.
They're trying to put somebody to sleep.
We got to rewind it real quick. 'Cause
No, you
Trav,
meant
I
that,
thought that
boy.
you was about to say I saw a catfish pizza, and I was just like,
That
Maybe
might
somewhere in
cross the line.
Louisiana.
I
when
would never
think
say
about,
anything like that.
Well, when I think about fish on pizza, I
Try.
think about anchovies, and it's like, I'm not really an anchovy.
Next
I
question.
honestly have never tried one, so I don't know.
Okay, so
Anchovies
look,
aren't
right.
terrible.
The
They're just
only
really salty.
reason why I tried anchovies on pizza because it's just your childhood. You watch stuff on TV, and I remember on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles they used to always talk about pizza with anchovies up there, and I remember my mom's boyfriend at the time. I told him I was just like, I want to try some anchovies. So he had got a pizza with anchovies up there, a whole entire pizza.
No.
And I tried it, and I was just like, this is disgusting.
You have to do the anchovies.
Hey, did you eat it anyways?
You have to do it with pepperoni. It's the only way to do anchovies.
Well, he still got pepperoni because they, like, of course, my brother and my mom, they weren't going to eat it. So they took the anchovies off, but it's like that taste is still up there, even
I don't think you could take that off, and I think it's pretty ruined after that.
Fish. Have you ever been able to remove the smell of fish from anything?
No. Go ahead, D. D's just like, that's enough. Turn it off.
I'm good. Nah, I'm just saying. Anchovies, guys. I look, they're okay in my book. So
okay, all right.
I don't know where to take
I got
this.
the D approval.
D likes anchovies and pineapple.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, go for it.
I was
Anchovies and pineapple
together.
I don't know what he's talking
that's
about.
Now you're really out there.
Yeah,
you're
we're
outside the line. I said the only way to do it is with pepperoni. You can't do anything else with it. You just can't.
You can't.
So you just can't.
You shouldn't do anything with it to begin with, So.
Take it, eat, Trav. You had it right there, teetering.
Them's fighting words.
It's like you were balanced, and then you were just like,
bro, somebody might watch this interview and be like, well, I love anchovies and pineapple on my pizza. Like, what are these guys talking about?
Watch them comments. Watch them comments.
Watch the comments and because Trav knows. Like, they came for him before in the comments.
Yeah, it was like
it was like the ghost coming for you.
Remember the ghosts in that movie Ghosts back in the day? The shadows. They came right
the
for
horrible
Trav.
They came
CGI
they came
shadows
right
that
for
came
Trav.
and got him at the end.
Yes, sir.
They said
You know
we
exactly.
got some for Trav. Sitting here talking about
They
our
got nothing
favorite
for me.
rapper.
Oh, they
It
came
better
to
not
get
be
you.
anchovies. I know that.
Oh my god.
And my next question is, how big is that damn water bottle? Because I don't
Yeah,
know
that
if it's
thing-
the
Yeah,
angle,
that thing is huge.
but when you pick it up,
Bazooka!
this thing looks like it takes some
That's
serious
right.
strength.
100 and no, it's 70 ounces.
When she lifted it, I was thinking about Samus, her arm cannon.
Yeah, it did look like it. Yeah.
Oh,
It's just like, hey, you know, you recording all day. You gotta stay hydrated.
yeah, yeah.
No,
Stay
no
hydrated.
soda.
Oh,
No tea or anything. Well, maybe tea.
No, you gotta
Maybe
get
tea.
hold
Tea
on.
is
You
good.
plug in the tea.
Well,
This
you
guy,
can
see
have
what
tea
he
right
the
does?
vocal.
You know what? I take that back because when I was doing the voiceover classes, I remember I had my hot tea with me, and it really does help. You know,
I know
the hot
this
tea.
guy.
They
I'm
weren't
so
lying
smile
the whole
about
time. What
I'm
a
just saying,
shocker.
man. I mean, but like, look, that's a lot of sugar, though. You know, your boy, he loves to drink his tea, and
You don't have to drink it with sugar.
Yeah, nobody
though.
said anything about sweet tea.
I drink
bro.
green
like
tea
sweet
with no
tea.
sugar.
I put
I put honey.
Hey,
Yeah, I
you
do
know,
honey.
Say
like,
the honey's enough
do you
sugar.
want
Yeah.
one lump or two lumps, and then they
Why
hit
are we
you on
calling
the
them
head.
lumps?
Because that's
First
what they
Looney
called them in the old
Tunes.
cartoons.
Lumps.
Like, come on, Trav.
Lumps, like it's 1865
this
or
guy's
Or
over
if
here
you
hitting
want
us with
some-
the
or if you want
Fergie
some-
bars.
If
Yeah.
you want some
Lumps.
milk tea, you know,
Yeah.
like that's something that people like.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
British.
But you know,
It's a
since I'm
British
talking
style.
about tea, like, what is something that you do to, you know, get your voice ready when it comes to, you know, getting behind the
Gotta get it
microphone?
ready.
Like, are there any rituals or anything that you do?
Rich.
Rituals.
Yeah,
You know what's oddly enough, because I'm a theater kid, yes.
Hell yeah.
Because theater's all about ritual and
Mhm.
that stuff.
Right.
So
Mhm.
it's usually the same warm-ups I did going into shows are the ones that I'll do now. There's vocal warm-ups that I learned when I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts that I still do to this day. There's some that I like, tongue twisters that I do.
I was gonna ask
from
you, do the
youth
tongue
theater.
twisters?
So,
Can you give us a tongue twister?
Oh goodness.
This one.
here we
I
go,
love
boys.
tongue twisters.
I'll give you the one that makes sense, and then I'll
Okay.
tell you the one that doesn't make sense because no one else understands the other one. So the one that I normally do would
Thanks,
be,
you gotta do it.
What to do to die today at a minute or two till two, a distinctly difficult thing to say, but harder still to do, for there'll be a tattoo at 20 to 2 with a rat
Never
and the
mind.
dragon will come and he hears the drum in a minute or two till 2. Today at a minute or two till 2. And usually you try and do it in one breath, or I do.
Yeah, that is long.
Never mind, Banks.
That's
Banks,
what
I'm not.
she said.
Yeah, I'm not sending.
I thought
you
we
on
were
that
gonna
journey.
be hit with like the seashores.
Yeah.
I ain't.
Yeah.
I was
I
ready to
thought
have some
too.
fun, and I was like, that's not fun.
Nope. Those I like the longer ones. The shorter ones
Wow.
actually will trip me up.
Uh-huh.
The one I could never do, no matter how hard I try, is unique New York, because
Right, yeah,
my
yeah.
accent will always come out on New York if I
Right.
don't think about it, and so I just get tripped up after a while. I'm like, oh, okay, wait, what word are we on? I'm done.
Oof.
Gotta go back to spitting those bars.
Uh-huh.
That's
Hell
right.
But yeah, usually I'll do vocal warm-ups, more like singing warm-ups
Mhm.
for going into sessions, hums and trills and
Right.
just kind of getting everything moving, especially if it's an early morning session.
Mhm.
Those are rough.
Do you feel like you have to get up X amount of time before, or do you just roll out of bed and be like, "Yeah, we
I
going"?
wish. No, I usually get up like an hour to 2 hours before so that I'm like a human. Because if I try and just roll out of bed, it won't be pretty.
You don't want to be an anchovy. You want to be a human. You don't want to show
Oh
up.
God, this guy.
Oh snap! That's funny, man. So, you know, now I want to ask you, when you're not behind the microphone and when you're not, you know, watching video games and stuff, what are some of your hobbies that you're into?
Goodness. See, I wish I had cool ones, but I don't.
Hey, if it's
Um,
something that you love doing, then it's cool.
Probably
It makes it
bits.
cool.
Yeah.
I make everything cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unique New York. I can't
know.
even say it right the first time. Look at me.
Unique New York. Ugh.
I'm really into writing.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
write scripts and
Sick.
plays. I'm actually in the middle of writing 2 different pieces that I'm hoping that I will turn into animations at some point.
Nice.
I'm learning to
Fingers
draw.
crossed, pinkies up.
Oh, okay.
I'm
A
not
doodler.
good at it at all. But I'm
That's
trying.
pretty cool. though.
So
See?
and then my husband just bought me a new sewing machine, so I'm going back to costume
Ooh.
design.
Nice.
said
Because my
costume.
daughter
Yeah.
just started sewing because she's gonna be in drama next year, and she wants to,
Fire.
help with the seamstress stuff more so
Nice.
than actually act. So
Yeah, costume design is fantastic.
Such a good skill to have.
It was one
Yeah,
of my
super
favorite
unique.
things to do outside of being on stage was getting to play with costumes, which now is so cool because I get to go to conventions. If anyone wants to invite me to a convention, and
Hey,
watch
we know
cosplayers,
some
and I
people.
think cosplayers are the coolest thing ever. Because they're
Thank you.
so good and they're so detail oriented.
Yeah,
And like,
thank you.
I'll make costumes for like Halloween and stuff, and for me and my husband, and we try and be as screen accurate as possible. And then I see the
Yeah.
cosplayers, I'm just like, to shame. You have put
Yeah,
me
for
to
sure.
shame with your amount of detail. Good God.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
that's
it's-
awesome.
I think it's just gratifying too to once you get a costume down that
too.
you really like.
Yep.
Wait, what? Is that a tongue twister, Trav?
yeah, you just hit it with the tutu. All right.
Tongue twister, Trav.
I'd like to see D in a
3000.
tutu.
No,
like
no,
to
we're
see
not. Never.
Hey,
I
take
throw
it
some
Not in a million-
anchovies at that.
Hey, in the
You know
words of
what I mean?
Reggie, not in a million years.
No, I was. Oh, go ahead.
go
I'm sorry.
Go, no, forget
No,
it.
rock paper scissors.
Forget it. Robert, go. On shoot.
Rock,
On shoot.
Okay, rock paper scissors shoot.
Gotcha.
I mean, I already have the paper.
Oh,
Yeah, that was way
I-
late, but you know what? We'll let it go.
Hey,
Let it
everybody
go.
Go
wanna
ahead,
play?
D. Go
Zoom
ahead,
lag,
go ahead.
Zoom lag. We believe it.
That's
That's
right,
right.
bro. What I was gonna say is, first it was a two-part question, but I'll just make it a one-part since these guys wanted to dance all over my parade. What are some of the cosplays that you and your husband have done? Have you guys done one together?
We have not. I really want to, but we haven't yet. Things
What
that
ideas do y'all have?
I really want to do Gajiel and Levy from Fairy Tale because
Okay.
I'm that kind of nerd.
Hey,
So yeah.
Sweet characters.
But no, I've built him. I did a really good. I was very proud of screen accurate. Is it Ted from Bill and Ted? Which one does Keanu Reeves play? I always mix it up.
Ted.
Ted.
so-
Bill.
I did a really Bill Ted.
Is it Bill?
I
I
don't know.
think
Keanu
Bill
Reeves.
is yeah. Bill and
Oh,
Ted, bro.
bro.
You sleep.
Yo, no, I was just literally, my
Sleep.
brain went to Ted, and I just thought about Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah,
I was
Like,
thinking.
I made a
was just
big teddy bear costume. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I was like, huh?
Well, I'm like, yeah, I think he was. I think
I think he's Ted. I
Whichever
think
one
he's
he
Ted.
is, I can never
Bill
remember.
is.
But
I think Bill is the other guy.
Yeah, he is Ted.
The other guy.
Yeah, he is Ted.
Okay.
Yeah.
so I made a
Can't think
really
of his name right
cool Ted costume that I was really proud of for my husband, like wig and all. And then
Nice.
for myself, I think my favorite one is I did a super screen accurate river song from Doctor Who.
Mm.
Oh.
And I like hunted down the dress because it was a very specific dress made of like I want to say it's like wood silk. It's something
I have no idea what that is.
stupid and they don't make it anymore, and so I literally had to like
Holy cow.
find it and someone poshmarking it like and hunt it down from the UK, and I was super excited when I got the dress because I was like, yes,
Shit.
she wore this dress.
Wood silk.
So
Yeah, no. One
Nope.
thing that I wanted to say, because when you had mentioned that you sew and whatnot, one thing that a lot of cosplayers always say is that they wish that they knew how to sew because it's very
God, so do I.
It's very expensive, purchasing the costumes and whatnot. And they always say like some cosplayers do know how to sew and some cosplayers know how to make props. And
Yep.
it's definitely something that I would love to learn how to do because there's so many costumes that I would want to make myself. I know the fabrics that I need and whatnot. It's just I just don't know how to sew. I know how to do the basic sewing with the needle and the thread, but that's
Yeah.
so
Well, and even
long.
then, like there are some things where I'm just like, I'm gonna take this to one of my friends who's an actual professional costumer and have
Right.
them, because some of the stuff I'm just like,
Yeah.
you'll
it's
get
just
lost
gonna
in the
take
shop.
me like 6 times as
Hand
long as it would
sewing is
take
like-
you.
It's better for like patchwork,
Yeah,
kinda. It's just
Yeah.
obviously a machine just does.
Oh
way
my god,
faster.
I cannot tell you the amount of things I hand sewed because I didn't have a machine in
Yeah.
my 20s, so I just made everything by hand,
Wow.
which takes way too
Still-
long.
But I still think that's an amazing skill to have. Like I sew on a machine. I wish I could sew by hand, like sew by hand.
Mm.
I can
Like,
show
yeah.
you.
No, I don't need your help. My wife could do it, so she could do
Yeah,
hand
you see
sewing.
how it's like I try to give a helping hand, and
I don't need that,
help.
JoJo.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how I get treated up here.
That's what One Piece told me to say. So,
but now we're here at the end of the interview, and D, he always has his final questions that he loves to ask all of our guests. So, D,
we got them villain hands going. I like it.
Yeah, I'll hold it right here, fellas, like your boy TN. But
I was gonna say Jay-Z, but go ahead.
Oh, TN did it first. Where do you think he got it from? Did he? Yeah, I think he did.
TN definitely did it first, technically.
Yeah,
technically.
He did in the manga. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so question number 1: favorite 80s or 90s movie, or both?
Guys,
top 5 in both. Top 5 90s
or 90s.
No, 80s or 90s. That's easy.
80s
I
or
gave
90s.
you
Okay,
2 decades.
so we're gonna go Labyrinth.
Sick movie.
Willow.
David Bowie. Sick movie. Val Kilmer. R.I.P. basically for him. He's almost.
No, don't say that.
Well, he's hurt. He's bad.
Hurting, but he's.
That's when I hear
He's
Willow, and then they're doing the. I don't think it's a reboot, but a continuation story.
Yeah.
It's sad that he won't be able to be in it because his character was, he's sweet.
Right.
I know.
It was cool how they worked him in the Maverick.
Yes, I liked that a lot. Though it did also make me a little sad. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Would they no, don't spoil it.
Like no, just like it's already known, but just like the real life thing, they gave Iceman throat cancer like he had in real life. Just so he can't talk.
Oh, was he in it though?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's in it.
Okay, sweet. Yeah,
because he talked about it. He said it was because I remember people didn't know if he was gonna really be in it or not.
Yeah.
And then like when he was in it, like it was
cool. He was like a sweet rival. Like Val Kilmer. Yeah,
Kilmer's fantastic.
He's one of my favorite actors from the 90s. You know?
He was good.
I loved him as Batman. A lot of people didn't like Batman Forever, but I love Batman.
He was a good actor, man.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Sure. Sorry. 80s, 90s. Labyrinth.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Labyrinth, Willow.
That because of David Bowie?
Labyrinth, it's just the whole thing. I grew up on that movie.
Man, that movie's sweet.
It's
for me, it's Jennifer Connelly. For a lot of people,
I like the little dog night on the dogs.
Yeah. Yes, Sir Didymus.
Yes,
and I love Ludo, the giant monster.
Super fluffy.
Yeah, Labyrinth.
So good,
so nice.
What was the movie that was similar? The Never-Ending Story. Like
Never-Ending Story.
Stuff.
Thank you. That was what I was trying to think of. That's number 3. Never-Ending Story.
Okay.
Did you see?
You didn't have to give us 5. It was.
Okay. Then
it was just your 1.
Did you see the third?
Why did this man bring up Never-Ending Story 3 with Jack Black for?
I don't know why.
I only ever saw the first one. In my head, that's all that exists.
The second one's good.
Well, the second one was.
The second one's good.
Yeah.
But the third one was.
The third one's bad.
I don't know.
And it's got Jack Black in it.
What's that one movie? Page Master.
Page Master's great.
That's a sweet movie. That's a good movie.
That was a good one.
Have you ever seen Legend with Tom Cruise?
Yes, with Tom Cruise and Tim Curry as the devil.
Right. Tim Curry as the devil.
I know.
Tim Curry. So good in it.
Tim Curry is good in everything. I love that man.
That's true too.
It's crazy how if you ask somebody like, "What's your favorite Tim Curry film?" and it's just like everybody has a different one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how you know like the type of person they are.
What they're into.
How they know Tim Curry.
What if somebody was just like, I loved him in Charlie's Angels?
I always go Rocky Horror, and then I confuse people with Oscar because no one's ever heard of Oscar. And if you haven't, Oscar is fantastic. It's a movie with Tim Curry and Sylvester Stallone. It's a comedy, like a bag switching comedy from the 20s.
That's honestly, it sounds so bad that it's good.
That's exactly what it is, and it's fantastic.
Because we already know Stallone can't talk for.
It's great because in it he's like getting elocution lessons, so he's like trying to learn to speak good, and that's one of his lines. I'll never learn to speak good, and you're like, oh Jesus Christ! It's if you've never seen Oscar, see Oscar. It's so good.
I'm about to add it to the list. I'm about to see what it's on right now. But go ahead. Yeah, see, this is what we do. We snowball.
Yes. Okay. So second question. Growing up, was there anything that spooked you, scared you, and stayed with you? Whether it was a scary movie, a creepy lullaby, a story you heard one time. What you got?
You know what? It was that scene in The Witches where they like actually like take everything off and become witches. I remember watching that as a kid, and it's the only movie that ever like gave me nightmares.
The
and made me
original
stay
The
up all
Witches,
night.
right?
Oh yes, the
Original.
original.
Yeah, that's
Well, I think the one from
Angelica
1990
Houston.
isn't the original. I think
well.
that's still a
Okay, well
remake.
Okay,
the one
so
we
my
grew up with.
childhood
It's
one.
our
So Angelica
original.
Houston
Yeah,
Okay.
it's our original.
becoming
did
a
you feel
witch.
What was?
Did
Yeah,
you,
go
did
ahead.
you watch the one that
new
came
one.
out
I did.
a couple years ago?
Oh, you do? I
Not the
love it.
same, man.
Yeah,
It doesn't
well,
carry
Anna
the
was-
same.
It
loved
was
it. I love-
fine.
I
It's
love
one of
anything that
those-
Annie's in, though. She's so
I see.
good.
I love her, and that's why I watched
Yeah.
it.
She's so good.
But it's one of those where I was like, this wasn't made for me.
Practical.
This was made
practical
for
is
a
what
new
made the
generation to
original.
fall in love
For
with it.
sure.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the practical of the
Yeah, man,
original.
that's
That's
those
what's
costumes
creepy
are-
about it.
Woo! Mhm.
Mhm. That's something that we talk
Tricking
about up here all the
kids.
time, like with Alien and the
Yep.
Thing, like those practical effects and stuff.
It just
I don't
holds
know.
up
Something
longevity,
about it.
man.
You can't
Yeah.
you can't fake some of that.
Right,
You can
and
go
that's why
watch that stuff now, and it still holds up.
I was gonna
the
say
thing.
that's why Vecna and Stranger Things looks so good. Is because it's 90% practical effects.
Yeah.
It's just the Thing,
A
Alien,
Thing, that
Terminator. Hey, take it easy, man. You know I'm from Tennessee.
that anchovy.
Anchovy.
Dang
Got a
on me,
hold of
boy.
it.
But no,
So,
but
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Great
yeah,
answer.
thank you. So yeah, like I said, we're here at the end of the interview. Heather, thank you so much for joining us up here on
Absolutely.
a new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.
Yeah,
You are
thank
awesome.
You guys.
And we're
Hell
going to
yeah.
talk to some people so that way we can get you here at the cons and VA because we do know people. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
tell 'em.
yeah.
I'm all for it. I will
Yeah.
come.
You know, we'll
wanna
talk to our
come say
friend
hi.
Jasmine,
Yeah, we'll put
Superstar
in the word.
Anime. You know,
Uh-huh.
hey, y'all can check out Jasmine's interview. It is up here on the channel, or
That's
you can
right.
listen to it on the podcast. You know, she is the
Showrunner?
president. She's the president
Yes.
showrunner of Superstar Anime. So yeah, hey, we'll talk. Hey, I'll give her some of the cheesy bread. I'll be like, here's some cheesy bread, and I'll hopefully 5 pieces is enough. If she's just like, nah, you got to give me 2 more. I'll be like, all right, I'll give you 2 more. But before we let you go, let everybody in
Thank you for
social
that.
media land know where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Hezzy HEZZY _star STARRVO, or on Instagram Hezzy HEZZY _star STARR_VO, because the other one was taken oddly enough.
That is odd.
Right? I'm like, I thought it was just I didn't know anyone else had the name Hezzy, but okay. That's weird.
They probably feel the same way. It's like, yo, like she stole my name. Like,
Right? Yeah, check me out there. And
oh, you mentioned you had a TikTok too?
no, I don't. I
Oh,
should,
okay.
but I don't. I
Okay.
always think of like funny things where I'm like, that would be a TikTok, and then I get lazy and I don't make it.
It takes a lot of time. Man.
It's hard making TikToks.
It is, man.
I don't know how
Like,
these people keep making TikTok. Maybe I'm old and can't
No,
figure it out.
no, it's
I
not.
don't know.
It's not that you're
I tell
old.
myself that every day. Maybe
It's
I'm
not
old.
that you're old. What you have to do, because like a lot of cosplayers I interview, they'll tell me that they'll pick a day, like a Saturday or Sunday, and then they'll film like 100 videos,
and then
they'll
just put them out.
Yeah, they'll save them in their drafts, and then they just come out over time. And I'm just like,
No, I
do
was
that
talking
with
about how to
pictures.
make the TikToks on
No, that's-
TikTok.
but that's what I'm saying. Like that's what they do. Like they'll do all the editing
Wow.
and stuff, and it's just like one of my friends, like that's like she like 2 days.
Snapperdoodle.
Yeah, not Snapperdoodle, but no, Trav, let them know where they can find you at the social media land.
And I'm mad we didn't get to talk about that nickname, but I'm gonna move on from it. You can find me on the Instagram at ZK Audio. I'm also on the Twitter at TRAVIOSZK, where I'm also on Letterboxd, ranking and rating my daily movie watches. And D, we can see it in your eyes. The screen is here. Where they gonna find you at?
As always, you can find me at rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com. And Banks, if they need a hero, where can they find one?
Hey, if they need a hero, you can find me a hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, everybody, for watching our interview with Heather. Make sure that you go and follow her on all of her social media accounts. Make sure that you check out some more interviews that we have here on the channel, along with reaction videos and reviews. The podcast, brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below in the description. And then the video of that interview is up here on YouTube on Friday. With that being said, keep that pinky up. Stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.